So we just finished unboxing the new Apple Watch Ultra, and I must tell you, the experience to unbox this is something different. I mean, I have been unboxing regular iPhones, whatever previous versions of the Apple Watches, and I didn't feel anything special. But this time around, I don't know if the packaging just looks completely different than the previous version of Apple Watches, because this is much bigger, I would say, because the Series Watch 7, it was that thin, long box that we're all used to seeing. This one is not only that it is heavy, it is wider, it has the entire brochure. I love the background of the box to really highlight the adventurous side of a lot of the audience that this is trying to target towards, like the mountains and all of that. It's an experience. When I was opening it, I just felt like it was, you got a really cool, surprising package in the mail and you just want to open it, and wow, it's like I'm getting invited to something special. So Apple, you did a great job in the packaging for the Apple Ultra. Amazing. Now, I am someone that wears a FitBit Luxe because my wrist is super tiny. I wear a small, very small FitBit Luxe, and I would put my wrist is, I think, 4 inches what do you call that, like when you measure your wrist, 4 inches all around. And to make it more comparison for the Fitbit, I would put my buckle pretty much second to the last. I literally fit the very last one if I really wanted to be like super tight, but usually to make it not super tight, I have it second to the last so it doesn't dangle on my wrist. And when I go to sleep, I put it on the third to the last, so at least I have some breathing room, so it's not super tight when I sleep. And that, so you could see, like, this is third to the last. This is like kind of like the diameter here. And with the Apple Watch Ultra, you could only imagine I would just not fit this thing. However, as you could see here, yes, it is big. It's definitely bigger than my FitBit Luxe for sure. But when I was like glancing through in the mirror, you know, putting my hands in the pocket and just like trying to dress it up, not dress it up, but just like wear it, where does this like pop out to a point where you're just like, what is this little girl doing? Why is she wearing this? Is something wrong with her? Like, it just didn't really stand out in that negative way, which I appreciate. Like, yes, it does look big. Yes, especially if you're like really close to me, you could really see that it is a bigger watch. Especially, I mean, I look at this, the face of the watch pretty much is covering my entire wrist surface, and pretty much is partly is like even a little bigger. So I'm wearing the watch right now to the tightest level. So this is the smallest of the band, and right now I have it to the tightest. Pretty much like I cannot make it tighter. This is it. Like the last one, you can't even put the ring against it. So this is the tightest it could go, and you could see like the tightest one, it is super snug. Like this will not really move around, and to be honest, if I were to sleep with this, I'll probably make it even a little bit looser, because right now it's super tight. Like I could swing my arm and this thing will not move because it is like really tight. And so I think that will actually be the fit for me if I were to wear this every day. And to sleep again, I'll probably put second to the last to the ring. But I don't know. I was kind of just trying to see if this is popping out in like a really negative way. And I know for some of you out there, you might say, yeah, it is popping out in a pretty negative way. It is not your typical smaller watch. So I don't blame you. But is it popping out in a way that like it is unwearable? Like there's no way you look like you're just wearing like a bomb on your wrist. I don't think it's quite that, which is nice, because if you really want to wear this as a petite small wrist person, you can get away with it, because from far away, when you're just wearing this from afar, it does kind of look like you're just wearing an Apple Watch, because everybody knows, right, this rectangular shape is the Apple Watch. So if you were to wear this out there from afar, it just looks like you're wearing an Apple Watch, because honestly, any Apple Watch at this point point would just look somewhat big on me anyway. So it would just look like you're wearing an Apple Watch. But it's not terribly wrong. I think I could get away with wearing this without screaming that I have an absurdly large watch. This is the first thing you'll notice kind of thing. Like, I don't think that's the case, which is great. I think that for people who is looking closely at my outfit, at my watch, they'll see like, oh my god, like your watch is huge on you. But if you're not really paying attention, especially if you're wearing like a jacket, and yet for this size of watch, like even though I'm wearing a sweater right now, you could tell it's not gonna be something that I could easily just cover with a tight sleeve type of shirt. Like right now I'm wearing a sweater. You could see if I were to put it, you could, there's a noticeable bump, right? It just doesn't hide nicely. So you probably do want to wear a shirt that either allows you to have this hanging out like this, or have a bigger, looser type of sweater or jacket that really could go completely cover it. Like I have a lot of winter clothes. I have jacket that's loose enough to completely cover this, so it wouldn't be an issue. But I think that so far, based on what I see, and by the way, it's true, like it's not super heavy to a point you feel like, oh my god, like my hand is heavy from wearing this. Like you don't really feel it that, but yeah, like you definitely notice that it's there, more noticeable than the FitBit for sure. But again, it's something that is bearable, and given the great features and the battery life and the capabilities, I personally would totally rock this. Maybe not every day, all the time, everywhere, but I would say for most days, all the time, everywhere. I probably would not wear this if I'm wearing a dress or anything like that, which honestly, I rarely even wear a dress in most occasion anyway. So for this, if you're wearing jeans, you're wearing a sweater, you're wearing casual fit, I think this, you could totally get away with just like, it's fine. I don't think it's terrible, because I was actually super worried that I was just thinking, there's no way I could even wear this at all without someone just screaming that, dude, your watch, your hand is about to fall off. Basically, your watch is so big that it just doesn't look right. Like I thought it was gonna be so bad, to a point where I didn't even think that there will be any way that this thing will even stay on me without like completely moving around, you know, basically doesn't even fit. Not even about the looks of it, it's just, it wouldn't even fit. That was my worry initially. But given that it does fit, and I don't know, like it's big, but not into a point where it's so big that you would just look completely off guard weird in public, that I would totally wear this. Like I would totally wear this to work. I would totally wear this out. I would totally wear this on a normal daily thing, especially as I would love this to not catch a lot of attention, to be honest. Like I don't want to wear this and people to comment all the time like, oh my god, your watch is huge, like what are you doing? Like I think that will make me not want to watch it if it ends up being something that is so noticeable. But to be honest, who cares? Like I barely talk to anybody, to be honest. So it's like, I've been wearing this thing, like no one ever notices. But again, that's kind of the whole point, is that it's so slim, it's so tiny, it's so small, you're not supposed to notice it. But the only thing I could do on this thing is to track my steps, and sometimes see some notification, barely any notification on here. Like I see some email, I see some text, but it is so hard to read, so hard to navigate. The screen is just non-responsive most of the time. So this, at this point, is just for steps. And if I'm able to do a lot more with this watch and have the safety features and it doesn't look terrible, like I think this is actually really attractive in the sense of like what it could possibly do, how long it lasts, it's all the safety features. So I think so far this is looking good, but I'll show y'all more on how this look in different outfits, and if you could dress it up, dress it down, or what have you. I'll share it more with you. But I actually really like this Starlight band as well, because I think that because this is Starlight, it's like a lighter color. I'm wearing like a creamish sweater right now too, so it just makes it match really well instead of like having the black band. That I don't know, actually I would love to try it out, but so far I think this is actually blending quite nicely, and it doesn't stand out so like in your face negative in a way. Like if I were just to sit around here, where if this video is not even about the Ultra, I feel for those that who is super into tech might notice it, but for the most part you might just kind of glance through that like, oh, she's just wearing an Apple Watch, it's whatever. It's not that obvious. In meetings, for the most part, like this is how I would talk, and I feel like, unless you're really staring at my wrist and my watch, I feel like it's also not going to be something that is so noticeable, because you would expect someone to have something here, bracelet or a watch anyway. anyway. So I don't know, I really like it. It's actually surprisingly not so large to a point where it's unbearable. So I don't know, this is great. And I really do hope that next year or next year after next or whatever, that they do make this into a smaller size, maybe normal, you know, Series 8, Series 9, but also have all of the cool features, the siren, battery life, brighter screen. They could put this in the regular Apple Watch. That would be even better, to be honest, than any slimmer, any thinner, any smaller that it could get would be what will make me happy. So hopefully Apple will come out with a more suitable, smaller, thinner, petite watch that's fit for all sizes. But so far, I mean, this is not bad. I mean, it wouldn't come off, that's for sure. Like, I could keep swinging this all the time and I don't think this thing will come off. Like, it doesn't feel like it would. If anything, it starts to feel a little bit tight. Like, I could see that if I were to wear the last locked all day, I would feel like a little bit suffocated, and then probably I would have like a red line across my wrist, because right now it does feel super tight. It does feel very sturdy right now. Like, I really think I could run a marathon and this thing would not come off. But for comfort, I will actually probably put it one looser, so it's like one back. And I wonder, okay, so this is now second in the ring. So you can see earlier I was in the last one here, now I'm the second to the last, and it is feeling actually a little bit more comfortable. Like, you could kind of see that it is looser. You could kind of see there's like a little bit of a opening and it's less tight, but it's still pretty tight. This is actually still really tight, and there's a little part of me, so you see how for this band, this loop right here, this is called like what, the Alpine loop or whatever, it gives this little bubble, right? Like, there's a space here that I'd much rather for it to be tight like this, so it doesn't have any space, loose space like this right now. Like, this is just not a good look. You see how there's like a space? This right here, this space is unnecessary, and it makes your wrist looks bigger than it is. You see that? And I know that the trail loop doesn't have that, so I think it should be better. You see how like this whole thing, right? It's because it's double and there's like all these bubble underneath it. I don't know. Like, that part, I feel like I don't really like, because it makes it look messy. It makes it look not elegant. It also make it look bulkier than necessary. So that I don't really like. And again, you could see a lot more of these looseness because now I'm in the second to the last, and I think there's a lot more space now to move around. So if I were to move it back, okay, now I moved it back to the last one. You can see now this is tighter now. You can see it doesn't have that big space bubble like it was before. So pretty much I feel like in order for me to wear this, I have to have it to the last one, so it like doesn't flop around like it was earlier. You know how now it's much tighter, much better. It looks way neater. So I feel like in order for me to wear this, I do have to have it all the way to the last one so it doesn't flop around, because even when I just had it second to the last, it was just flopping everywhere. It just didn't look as nice already. So like, this tightness will be something that I will either have to get used to or gain some weight, right? So anyway, not bad. I would wear this. We'll see. People really notice this, or is it just a normal watch, or people probably just won't even say anything. But so far I actually like it. I'm surprised that it even fits me. So yeah, we'll see how it goes after a few more days, more weeks, more time. So I'll share more.